Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Emily Haller and I'm here with Mathew Wells and Marlena Millard from Wavestone, and we're talking about regulatory-led technology transformation. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The scale of regulatory-led change has been immense. What are the main challenges facing CIOs and CROs moving into 2017?
You're absolutely correct. The pace of regulatory change, particularly since 2008, has been unprecedented. We at Wavestone believe that during 2017, CIOs and Chief Risk Officers must focus on firstly establishing a regulatory change framework that addresses all of the different initiatives that will impact an organisation's infrastructure. But also it's important to understand what the risks are involved in people, processes and technology, as well as mapping those to your regulatory change agenda. So it's turning the value of the investment in IT systems and processes and ensuring that they can meet the escalating requirements. Secondly, IT systems and tools. A large proportion of IT spend is spent on being compliant. So therefore the focus on building systems and tools that can meet an ever-changing regulatory environment is key for long-term stability but also risk mitigation. What we would advise at Wavestone is to actually establish a enterprise-wide regulatory systems and tools strategy. And thirdly, dealing with aggregated data and reporting. So focus should be looking at how to address the data quality gap. A lot of organisations are very good at pulling data off their systems and environment, but the challenge is actually mapping that data to where they need to provide compliance capability.
So how can technology help to meet the regulatory change agenda?
Technology can ease the burden in many ways. I think the way that infrastructure within financial institutions have evolved over time through many layers of legacy equipment, systems and also processes has meant that their environments are very complex environments. And it's a struggle for organisations to get a complete view of their operational environment as well as the exposures from regulatory initiatives actually present to their organisation, which drives a certain culture away from having costly technology and innovation, but actually adopting new forms of technology and integrated solutions can benefit an organisation in the long run. So that's looking at capabilities around automation of data, reporting, as well as looking at how efficiencies can be driven through technology rather than sticking to challenges proposed by data and manual manipulation of that data.
At Wavestone, we have seen organizations taking the path of least resistance, bolting on systems and processes on the edge of legacy systems. However, this is just a very short-term solution. It will not address risks that are in the heart of banks' infrastructure systems, and they will lead to organizations having heavy fines.
How can financial services firms meet the challenge of dealing with regulatory-led technology transformation?
I think the focus firstly is to ensure that there's a robust regulatory change management framework. That framework needs to be designed in bridging compliance functions together with IT and technology, as well as other key business unit stakeholders within organisations. The challenge historically when it comes to regulatory-led transformation is that it's very much seen as a siloed function. Because the regulatory initiatives are actually more pervasive across an organisation, the need to come together and collaborate and actually cooperate is much greater. And it's also ensuring that change is driven through an organisation rather than siloed within one function. and addressing the inefficiencies in current people, processes and technology to avoid creating barriers that would allow that change to actually take place. Regulatory change, as we mentioned earlier, is a journey to where organisations should be getting to rather than focusing on a big bang type regulatory change, which would be very difficult and complex to implement.
As Mathew just said, we very often see organizations that do not have fully documented organizational environment. Systems and processes are just not captured thoroughly throughout the year.
At Wavestone, we strongly believe in 2017 that financial institutions need to take control of their regulatory agenda, particularly as a lot of regulations are now moving into the implementation phase. So MiFID II, PRIPS coming in the not too distant future. So organisations need to change their approach from plugging the gaps and using point solutions to compliance technology to take it a more holistic approach and to plan for that regulatory-led technology transformation in a more joined-up approach as well.
Mathew, Marlena, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.